Hey, so I just thought I'd come here today and thank you all the nurses and doctors who are venturing on into these dark times. When I was born, I had a lot of surgeries, and they were all experimental. And so, hearing that there's a lot of doctors working on an experimental cure and an experimental vaccine. Thank you, and when I was born, I had to venture on. And when I was a baby, I had 15 surgeries, my mom told me when I was born, and they were all extremely dangerous and experimental, and I soldiered on thanks to those doctors and nurses. And really hearing about this coronavirus and how it's really waning on these doctors and nurses and how they're mentally losing it and just mentally scared. A lot of them are scared and saying, "Oh, there are doctors who are saying they ran out of medical supplies and they just say, oh, go and do it. You're not gonna wear a mask. You're not gonna wear anything." The fact that these doctors, some of them, and nurses are going in to these overbearing hospital hours and just terrified of being in there. It makes me so thankful for the doctors and nurses that helped me survive through my experimental surgeries, that I'm thankful, but I'm also sorry for those doctors and nurses who go in there with no masks and whatever to protect themselves. And there was one doctor who, I'll put the video down below, who had COVID-19, and then when he got cured or when he got better, the doctor said, "Oh, you have to come back in," and he was like, "I can't do this." And I understand, I sympathize with all these doctors. There was even a mother who was a doctor or a nurse, and they said she says she can't do it. It's mentally waning on her. I mean, the fact that they're losing lives constantly, it would be hard. It would be terrifying. I've seen people die in my life. My grandpa, my grandma, my dad's parents. At a young age. Very hard. And then, so I understand how it could be extremely challenging and just so scary and depressing. And if you think about it, all these COVID-19 patients are just so sick. Even one cough can give someone COVID-19, and it can last. I did research. It can last on something for 3 hours. A COVID-19 germ, can last in someone for 3 hours. When a flu can last, I think, for an hour. That's incredible. And extremely scary. I mean, these are just dark times, and the fact that these doctors and nurses are just going in there full-blown mentally drained and anxiety high, but yet heart-driven to just try to keep these people alive. I mean, there's just so many people who are dying from this COVID-19, from this coronavirus. We really need to give thank you to the doctors and nurses. So, thank you. And I also want to say thank you to all the nurses and doctors out there in Cleveland Clinic who kept me alive. My name is Corey Conway, and when I was born, I had 24 surgeries. I was in the Akron hospital, and even in Cleveland Clinic. And there were times where I went into the surgical rooms or whatever when I was young, and I would see all the doctors and nurses that took care of me, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, you're Corey! Wow, look how grown you are! Oh my gosh, you were just so barely hanging on with all those surgeries. I can't believe you're so outgrown." That actually really shocked me when I was young, and still today, So really thank you.